Welcome to the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show. I am James Ham, standing in the court of Sleep Train Arena, where the Sacramento Kings knock off the Indiana Pacers 102-101 in overtime. Very, very suspect game tonight by the Sacramento Kings, a shorthanded Pacers team, but they do snap their 4-game losing streak and snap their 15-game losing streak without DeMarcus Cousins on the floor. Rudy Gay has a big night, finishes with 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but one issue with Rudy Gay is he goes 1 of 8 in the fourth quarter and overtime combined, including missing what could have been the losing shot with 0.8 of a second left, but Carl Landry picks up the rebound and puts it back in. Landry has a very solid 14 points and 7 rebounds off the Kings bench. Darren Collison bounces back to his regular form, 20 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds in the win tonight. Very strong performance from Collison as well. With the Sacramento Kings coming back and playing tomorrow night, second night of a back-to-back at home, they needed a break for their starters, and they did not get that tonight. Their bench really let them down, specifically in the fourth quarter. They couldn't hold the lead, and Malone had to bring his starters back in just to finish the game. By the time he had his starters back in the game, they had already lost a lot of momentum and had to struggle just to stay in this game down the stretch. Kings struggle from the free throw line. On the season, they're an 80% free throw shooting team. Tonight, they shoot just 70%. But Jason Thompson, a guy who has struggled with his free throw shooting the last couple of seasons, comes up huge in the final minutes of the game in regulation. He knocks in 2 free throws to help this game get to the overtime period. So a solid finish to this game by the Kings. Jason Thompson did a very nice job of limiting David West to just 2 points in the first half, but in the second half, West gets loose, scores 14 of his 16 points in the second half and the overtime period, including some incredible shots down the stretch. It just seemed to want to fall in for David West tonight. Jason Thompson fouls out late, and it's Carl Landry who comes in to replace him and gets that game-winning bucket, sort of serendipitous for the Sacramento Kings. Indiana Pacers are playing without George Hill, without Paul George. Paul George out for most of the season. Interesting side note to this game tonight, George was actually here at the game and shooting in pregame. His leg does not look good yet. He certainly has a large bump. It looks like he's not even remotely close to healed, but it was very nice to see Paul George after that devastating injury during Team USA this summer, where, just absolutely snapped his leg in half. Just a devastating injury for both the Indiana Pacers and Paul George. He will be back eventually, but it's going to take a long time. It was good to see him out here. Sort of a strange side note to this game. Let's go to our 3 keys to the game. The first key to the game is heart. I'm not sure that the Sacramento Kings bench unit played with a lot of heart tonight, but their starters did. Their starters gave everything they had. Unfortunately, some of their starters played most of the game. Ben McLemore comes away playing the entire second half, 47 minutes tonight for McLemore, and a lot of that is because Nick Stauskas is struggling so badly. Stauskas came in tonight, looked completely lost. He came off the court dejected, and Rudy Gay was seen actually pulling him aside and having a nice conversation with the rookie to try to keep his spirits up. Let's go to that clip of Rudy Gay talking about his conversations with Nick Stauskas.
Man, this league is about confidence, man. And we can't have him walking off the court without it. You know, he's our player. He's with us. He's our guy. And as long as he's out there, he has to be aggressive and ready to score and ready to play. So, I'm just kind of trying to keep him with the confidence he came in this league with. And also, he played in college with. It happens to the best of us. When you come in this league, you expect certain things of yourself. And it's just like this league is real. It's real. It's definitely it's not what you watch on TV. There's a lot more to it, and he's realizing that. But I think he'll prevail.
All right, our second key to the game is backcourt pressure. I think the Sacramento Kings did a very nice job of keeping the Indiana Pacers backcourt under wraps most of the game. But Rodney Stuckey got loose late, and he actually ended up being a very large factor in this game. Him and David West are the reasons this game went to overtime. But in the overtime session, the Kings buckled down and were able to limit what the starting backcourt of the Indiana Pacers were able to do. So tonight, backcourt pressure, I think the Kings did an all right job, especially when you consider that Collison comes away with 20 points and another double-figure night for Ben McLemore. They held their own on both ends of the floor tonight. Lastly, defending the glass. The Sacramento Kings defense was stellar tonight. They hold the Indiana Pacers to just 37.5% from the field. They shoot 43.4% themselves. They out-rebound the Indiana Pacers, which is a big deal. This is the best rebounding team or the second best rebounding team in the NBA, especially on the offensive end. The Kings out-rebound them 49-43. Very, very nice evening by the Kings bigs. And for that matter, the Kings starting backcourt of Collison and McLemore finish with 11 rebounds combined. They get 10 from Jason Thompson, 7 each from Reggie Evans and Carl Landry. All right, let's hit our MVP for tonight's game. The MVP is clearly Carl Landry. Everyone thought it was his first game-winning shot of his career, but Landry actually clarified after the game that this was not his first game-winning shot of his career. Either way, huge shot. He grabs a rebound, he goes up strong, flips the ball up high off the glass, and scores with 0.8 of a second left. The Kings hold in that 0.8 of a second. Everyone in Sacramento knows that anything can happen all the way down to 0.3 of a second. So it was nice to see the Kings hold on. They did start with Ryan Hollins on the inbounds passer like they did the last time that they lost a tight game like this in Memphis. Tonight, they switched it up. They called a timeout right before the inbounds. They reset. They moved Hollins into the defensive rotation, and he did a very nice job of helping out and making sure that the Indiana Pacers didn't score a game-winning basket at the very end of this game.
And I just, told, my teammates that, me as well as Reggie, we're just going to crash the glass, because being in situations like that, you just never know. The ball could just bounce your way, and that's what it did on that night.
Coach said that was your first game winner. That can't be true?
You know what? I thought initially it was, but after thinking about it, I think I've hit a couple before in my eight years in NBA. So this is my first one here as a King, and it definitely felt good.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show. Sacramento Kings snapped their 4-game winning streak, beat the Indiana Pacers by a score of 102-101 in overtime. A very ruckus, loud crowd that will be back tomorrow night. Orlando Magic in town, second night of a home back-to-back, one of the rare ones in the NBA. DeMarcus Cousins will not be in uniform again tomorrow night.
I saw him in the locker room tonight, and I said, you look like you can give me 20 tomorrow night. But as much as I'd love to see him out there, big picture, I really want him to get healthy and get back. And he's been out for so long now, you just can't throw him out there. So we'll try to, get him back slowly, and the sooner the better.
Sacramento Kings are going to have to go at it without their best player, and we'll see what happens. So, I am James Ham. Thanks for tuning in to the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show.